And if I don't understand and I argue back, then we'll duke it out until we reach common ground. But like the whole like just like okay, whatever, you're right, and walk away. I'm like, what?
Hello and welcome to the Queer Vision podcast. I am Becca and my co-host Coey is not here today, but I will be sitting down with Jason. Jason is a Cuban American who grew up in Miami and then moved to Los Angeles for acting. So we get to hear his story as a queer person, the projects that he's working on, and his experiences growing up in a multicultural area. And yeah, it's a really fun conversation. You're going to love it. So stick around. I'm Becca. Normally, Coey is here with me, but Coey could not be here today. So you're just with me. We get to do a little one-on-one.
Okay, love it.
Yeah. Usually, how we start it is we just have you introduce yourself and your pronouns and like a little bit about you.
Okay, awesome. I never know what to say when it's a little bit about me. We'll see what happens.
So go ahead. What is your name? What are your pronouns? And what would you like to share?
Hi, my name is Jason Caceres. My pronouns are he, him, and something I would like to share about me is that I can dislocate my shoulder on command. I don't
Oh
know if
my
you can
gosh,
see it
me
on
too.
camera. No way, for real? Hold up. Yeah,
God.
twinsies! I've never met anyone else that could that could do that too.
Seriously. Oh my goodness. Hypermobility for the win.
Yeah. That's
I love that
crazy.
so
That's
much.
my go-to like fun fact when I don't know what to say, aside from like the whole, I'm an actor and I live in Los
Yeah.
Angeles. Yeah.
So you are an actor, and whenever you wrote in, you told us that you were born in Miami. Is that correct?
Yes. So I was born in Miami, Florida. First generation Cuban American. Both my parents are from Cuba. They immigrated back in the late 80s, I want to say. So second one born in Miami because I have
Oh,
an older brother.
nice.
Yeah, so Spanish was my first language. I learned English when I was like 10 or 11, I want to
Oh,
say, in elementary school because I in Miami there's, bilingual schools are pretty common because of all the immigration.
right.
So, yeah. Yeah, Cuban
Um,
American.
I love that so much. What has that experience been like? I mean, I know recently there's been a lot more like strife and discord on like immigration and like
Mhm.
everything. But like growing up, what was your experience like? Was it just like normal? Were you just like, yeah, this is life? Or did you notice some differences?
It was pretty normal because of the city I grew up in because Miami is pretty much kind of like a melting pot of cultures and everybody's from somewhere else.
Hmm.
So I like to say I grew up in between two cultures because at home, we were speaking Spanish, we
Yeah.
were playing salsa, we were eating, arroz con frijoles, and but then I'd go to school and it's like English only. We had
Hmm.
pizza for lunch, and everyone was listening to "Yeah" by Usher and Britney Spears. Not to date myself, but that was the time period back then. Backstreet Boys. So it was kind of like one world at home and then one world out in public, which I think has made me a little bit more well-rounded as a person. But also, I thought it was normal
Yeah.
because my classmates were living the same experience. They'd go home and at home they were having Nicaraguan food or they were Peruvian or because everybody was from a different culture. I didn't realize that it wasn't normal until I moved out to Los Angeles to pursue acting. And then
Hmm.
everybody was from like Illinois or Idaho or Tennessee.
Yeah.
And they were like, wow, you're so exotic. And I'm like, exotic?
I'm from
You-
Florida, man.
I'm like, what are you even talking about? So to
I
to
love that so
me,
much.
yeah, it was pretty normal when I was experiencing it, but I'm glad that I guess it's not as common as I thought it was because it's made me, I'm bilingual now, I'm bicultural. I feel like I can handle my own in different situations. Like I can code switch very easily. So if I'm like on vacation with a group of my very white friends and my very white boyfriend and we're like in Mexico, I can like kind of take charge and handle the situation. And then it makes code switching a little easier.
That sounds nice, honestly. I like that take on it too because like I've talked to a lot of people so I'm bisexual. My business partner is trans but has like more of like a gender fluid type thing and then like we've talked to a lot of people that are like biracial, right? And
Mhm.
and there's usually the feeling of like, I love and appreciate this part of me. However, I feel like I'm not enough. So like I really, really love that take of it of like, no, I've got the best of both. Like
Yeah.
I think that's so healthy and that's so fun to hear from because like I don't know, I think it's so normal to like, I don't know, you raise yourself you get raised one way and you're like, oh no, that was boring. That was like whatever. And you just seem like you're just like, no, I loved it. Like
Yeah.
it was different, but it was normal but fun, you know? Like I like that.
Yeah. It was definitely fun because I feel like I can tap into the best of both world. I'm like Hannah Montana. I
I literally was just gonna sing that.
I could tap into, like, the best of both worlds because if I can have a great time at, like, a Spanish club and we'll dance salsa, then I can go out and, like, listen to EDM and, like, bop my head, and that's
Yeah.
kind of like the dance move. But there is something to be said about not being enough in either world
Mhm,
because when I do go back home to Miami, I've
mhm.
spent so much time in Los Angeles now. I've been here for 13 years that sometimes it feels like I'm stepping into like a world I haven't been part of for a while and I'm
Yeah.
playing catch up a little bit. I'm like, okay. No, and then by like day 3, I'm like, okay, I'm fully Cuban again. Like I've caught up. But especially in like the acting world, there is something to be said of because when they're trying to cast a Latino,
Mhm.
America has a clear perception of what a Latino looks and sounds like, and I do not fit that. So I'm
Oh.
like, for Americans, I'm not Latino enough. And then sometimes for Latinos, I'm like not American enough or not
Mhm,
I'm still, sometimes I forget words in English. There is something to be said about not fully fitting into either
mhm.
world, but also still appreciating both worlds and what they've given me.
I really do love that perspective, and that does make a lot of sense because I feel like I mean, obviously you're right, like you experience it, but like now that like I'm actually sitting there thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, I guess like in a lot of our media, like Latinos are they're they're portrayed one specific way, like, and if not, then it's very slight variation or a very like indie film or something like that. Like
Yeah.
that is wow. So what made you want to get into acting?
I have no other skills. No, I'm
Okay.
kidding. I'm totally kidding. So it started back in the 3rd grade. I had this teacher. Her name was Mrs. Valpuesta. I'll never forget. Shout out to her. My brother had her first, and then in 3rd grade I had her also. And both my older brother and I were kind of shy
Mm,
begin with, and she actually suggested to my parents to put us in acting classes to help us like break out of our shell, communicate a little bit more because we were very silent in school.
mhm.
And I actually think I might attribute that a little bit to the whole being from 2 cultures thing because we were so, loud and Hispanic back home. And then at school, everybody was like English. So that
Right.
might have something to do with it. Now that I think about it, I never made that connection before until right now. So thank you.
Therapy. That's what we're here
Therapy.
for.
Thank you for being my therapist today.
Anytime.
So instead of putting us in theater, my mom put us in the Boy Scouts because she was like, well, there's more activities in Boy Scouts instead of just theater, so they can explore
Okay.
more. So they did have a theater program in the Scouts. There was also knot tying, of course.
Right.
There was arts and crafts. There was archery. So we had to learn a bunch of different crafts. But I definitely took to the theater
Mhm.
side a bit more. And I kind of just rolled with it. So I went to college to study theater performance, mainly because I didn't know what else to do. It's so crazy that in the States at 18, they're like, pick what you want to do for the
Yeah.
rest of your life now.
Yeah. And
Like,
go into debt figuring it out.
and go into debt figuring it out before your frontal lobe is fully developed, before you've experienced the world. Now at
Uh-huh.
18 and sometimes 17,
I
pick,
was 17. Yeah.
yeah, so exactly. Pick your profession. What do you want to do? Who do you want to be at
Yep.
17, 18?
With
So
like a little like here's your little elevator pitch of what every single job can be. Yay. And then you go in and you're like, this is nothing like that
it's
actually.
nothing like what was described to me at all. So I was like, I don't know. I guess I was good at science, so biology. So I was a biology major for the first semester of college. It's like, well, this is
Right?
cool. Yeah. It's like, I don't want to do this. And then I actually, that summer, got hired to be a sleepaway summer camp counselor for a camp up in New York called Racket Lake Boys Camp. And I met this child who was obviously the people in the camp came from wealthy families, like really, really
Mhm.
wealthy families, and we were hired to basically be not just their counselors, but their nannies for the summer. And this child was a Broadway kid. He was like 8 years old, and I was like, I think I want to do that. Like he kind of like reignited my love for theater, and I
I love
can't
that.
remember his name.
It's okay.
Noah?
That was a long time ago. It's
It was
okay.
a long time ago. It was
It's okay.
so when I got back that summer, I was 19, I think at the time. I was like, I'm gonna study theater. I'm just gonna do it because I like it. I feel like I'm pretty decent at it, and it's all these other options like biology, political science.
Mhm.
Nothing is kind of like speaking to me.
Mhm.
So I came back and was like, I'm gonna study theater, and
I love that.
that's how it happened.
I really like, honestly, like, okay, so first off, I'm a camp girly. So like I first off love that. I am a camp girly all day. I wish that like there were more camps for adults. I wish there were more camps for adults. Anyway, but, like, I do really appreciate that you, like, found inspiration from somebody that was younger than you too. Like, I feel like sometimes as we get older, we're like, "No, like, the only people I'm supposed to be looking up to are the people that are, like, up here or that are making this much money or that are doing this specific job," that kinda thing. And, like, the
Yeah.
fact that it was a child who just did the thing that you were like, "Wow, I did like doing that. Like, I should do that." That's very beautiful, honestly.
Yeah, and he was, like, on Broadway and, like, he was doing very well for himself, so it was like, "Oh, this 8-year-old is doing it, so why can't
Yeah,
I?"
yeah. So do you do, like, theater as well, or do you do, like, mainly, like, films, or what kinda stuff do you do?
I started out doing theater. I went to school for theater. I did a bunch of local theater back home in Miami. And then when I first moved out to Los Angeles, that was like my initial, I guess, foray into the field. Like I wanted to do theater. So I was in a play called Hit the Wall at the
Mhm.
LGBTQ center out here about the Stonewall riots. Then I did a play called Baby Eyes. I did a reimagining of Lysistrata at the
Okay.
Odyssey out here. So I loved it. I loved doing theater. But LA is very expensive.
Yeah.
And I was getting paid $25 a night to do theater. So unfortunately, after like a year and a half of doing theater out here, I had to pivot and try to look for more. I know it was terrible.
$25 a night? Not even an
$25 a
hour.
night for
A
like
night.
a night for 99 seat equity playhouses. So I had to pivot and
Yeah.
start doing a little bit or start pursuing more like television work and film work because it pays a little bit better. But I really wish I could do more theater. I just gas is $7 a gallon now.
It's $7 in LA.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's $7 a gallon now. So I I can't do theater. It would cost me that
More to
much
get there.
to get there and go back
Oh my
home.
my god, that's insane. I mean, here it was like 4.30, 4.50, and it just dropped back down, like, right below $4. So I was like, "That's so much. Holy crap, 7?" Sorry. That's like a culture shock right there.
It's crazy. $4 sounds heavenly. I wish. There's one gas station in Beverly Hills that's like $7.28 or something right now, I believe. So I like drive out, and I don't live in Beverly Hills, but I drive out as far as I can from LA to look for gas. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, that one is 5.78. I'll do that one."
Oh my god. I wish there was, like there was a thing whenever I was in college, maybe it's, like, still a thing and I just don't know, but there was, like, a Gas Buddy app or whatever where, like, it would have the prices of all of the stations, so you could, like, find the ones, but then, like, that requires the gas stations actually updating it, so
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if that's still around because that would be very beneficial
that
to
would be
be.
so beneficial. It would be yeah, no, sorry. Okay, tangent because prices were so
Yeah.
expensive.
I'm
Okay,
sorry. I go off
so
on little tangents
no,
sometimes.
that was all me. I just got so distracted by, "Holy shit, that's so much money." No, like, I totally feel it. Like, I'm not an actor by any means, but I do understand, like, from, like, the high school, college musician side of, like, performing whenever you're with people and whenever you get to, like, feel the energy of the other people around you is so different than whenever you're performing to record or performing around, like, 3 or 4 people, or, like, you're doing, like, one scene and you don't actually get to fully get into it. Because I feel like whenever you're in theater, at least, you get to truly feel the emotions all the way through in order. You don't
Yeah.
necessarily get to feel that whenever you do acting in the more general sense.
No, it's in theater you get to live the life of the character from beginning to end with no interruptions. In
Yeah.
film, sometimes we show up and day one we're doing the last scene of the film. and all the emotional roller
Yeah.
coasters already happened. So you have to start the day with already being there at the heightened, like the peak of the
Hmm.
film, and it's day one, and it's like, okay, well, we're gonna have to pull from somewhere. I just last week I was shooting. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this whole vertical thing that's happening now, like the
Oh,
vertical
wait.
soap
Oh, the
operas.
vertical ones that are like on
Yeah,
TikTok now? Yeah.
yeah. So I was filming one of those last week or a week and a half ago, and they were doing mine and my co-star's coverage at this point, and the lead is supposed to be right in front of us, and he was tired. So they put in a C stand with a red X on it, and they were like, well, this is him. So act to this red mark. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. You're telling me, because we were there when it was your coverage, and we were giving you everything we had.
Yeah.
Now you're tired and you're going to go sit down, and we have to act with a sticker. Okay. That's all right.
Oh
That
my God.
doesn't
This,
happen in theater.
no, did you, okay. Are you a Lord of the Rings fan?
Nah.
Okay, okay, okay. It's okay. It's okay. I just saw this thing where like Sir Ian McClellan, who plays Gandalf, who is the big wizard that like you, if you've ever seen it at all, or if you've seen pictures, he's the wizard in like the big cloak. Okay.
Yeah.
And for Lord of the Rings, they did a lot of like, oh God, what is it called? Where you don't use CGI. You do like the special effects, but it's like in person. So it's like, okay, this person is standing over here so they look taller. Or like they'll do like more strategic shots to make somebody like fit in the room, even though it's supposed to look like he's like this big and hunching over.
Yeah.
And so they did a lot of that stuff. And he like loved acting in Lord of the Rings. But when they came back and did The Hobbit, they did a lot more CGI, and I just read that he, like, broke down multiple times because he didn't feel like he was acting anymore because he didn't get to feel what the hobbits were feeling or, like, what the other people that were in the scene were supposed to be feeling, and, like, that is, like, so sad because it's an art form, right? Like,
Yeah, and acting is supposed to be like a collaborative art form, and it's supposed to like it's a human connection. Like you're supposed to play off the other person in front of you, because I mean
yeah,
a scene can change based on your reaction to what I'm saying, and then that could cause an emotional response in my body that changes the scene. But if you're acting with a
a sticker.
CGI or a sticker, I'm like the sticker's giving me nothing. So I'm just gonna have to whatever I rehearsed and prepared in my apartment, that's what's going to happen. There's nothing's going to be organic, nothing's going to change. There's going to be no emotional stimuli. It's just going to be me
Yeah,
and the sticker.
yeah. That's so hard, but, I mean, like, props to you for even, like, being able to do that because, like, that's so vulnerable, I feel like. That's why I've never really done any, like, acting or anything like that. Like, we started doing Queer Lana TV now, so there's, like, little things where I'll sit here and I'll be reading a book to the screen, right? And I'm like, "God, people are gonna be watching me." And, like, should I put a different personality on me now? Like, this is so it
Yeah.
is very vulnerable, like, even just doing something like that where it's not like, what, 10 people are watching it, not thousands of people, you know?
Yeah. Do you do like little voices for like different characters and
Sometimes. It really depends on the book. Like, I was trying to do, like, little kids' books because 'cause we're trying to do, like we did an event in April where we had the Drag Story Hour come in from the LGBTQ Center of Raleigh, and Soph, who is amazing, we love Soph, he's the one who, was the reader, and everyone in the room felt so calm afterwards. Like, he did, like, 3 books, and then he did, like, a little performance to wake everybody back up again, then did 3 more books, you know, and it was so nice and so calm that I was like, "I want this." Like, I want people to be able to experience this again, and so, like, I kinda started doing it, and I'm like, "I just want the people that I already know do this so well to just record themselves doing it so that we can have it because, like, then we can share it everywhere." Because I feel like so many people, like, and film and everything that is going on right now, streaming services, all of that stuff, it doesn't feel like as much of an escape anymore as it used to, and maybe that's because 'cause I'm older now and, like, I don't know, but, like, I just want a place for people to escape and be like, "Hmm, there's no one giving me ads to go to the bank or, like, to go buy, like, these thousands of things. There's no political ads." Like, I want that so
yeah,
much. Yeah.
yeah, to return to like actual storytelling instead of just
Yeah.
commercialization of media, which is what we're
Exactly.
seeing.
Exactly, and it does suck, but I mean, okay, so you do less theater now than you wish you could, but you do still do films and stuff. So what all are you working on right now? I know you sent in a couple things, so tell us about those.
I did. So I work a lot in the indie queer space,
Yes.
mainly because I enjoy it. it doesn't pay as much it doesn't pay much more than theater does, to be honest. But I feel like it's really important to tell these stories because
Mhm.
it's so weird. It's 2026 and I thought we'd be heading like this way when it comes to
No.
like progress and representation
Mhm.
and like a sharp plummet.
We crashed. We're
We
crash
crashed.
landing.
We crashed and burned, and there's so many important queer stories out there to tell that are not being told. And what we're seeing in mainstream media is this kind of like, I call it, those stories are still very important to tell because they still happen. I understand that, but it's kind of like
Right.
trauma porn
Mm.
at this point. Like the only stories that we're showing the rest of the world about queer people is how our lives always end in tragedy, which is not really the case. Yes, there are traumatic moments in our lives. Yes, there is tragedy, just like everybody else, just like straight cis het people. They also experience tragedies, but we also laugh and experience
Mhm.
joy and we have happy outcomes. And we don't always fight with our families about
Right.
who we are. We fight with our families, but like, you didn't wash the dishes or like it was your turn. Like there are so many other stories that we can tell and we
Mhm.
can show especially queer youth that you can have a fully well-rounded functional life as an adult because especially when you're young everything feels like it's the end of the world and it's not.
No.
Life does go on after that. It does feel like that, and I definitely remember being a teenager and being like my life is over. And it wasn't.
Right.
It kept going. So I work a lot in the indie LGBTQ film world. And right now, the three shows I have three shows and two movies that I'm promoting, all queer. The three shows I'm promoting are on Out TV, which is a queer streamer that's dedicated to just queer stories of all kinds. They're kind of when people ask me about it, I kind of describe them as being like the gay BET.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
They're like niche. They're a streamer, but they're also on cable. They're based out of Canada, but they also stream in the US. They're on cable in South America and Africa. They're in Europe. So they're everywhere. It's
Okay.
just not super common knowledge yet. So the first one is called Boyculture, Generation X. I play Chase, and it's called Generation X because it's a reboot of the original 2006 movie called Boyculture, which was by Allan Brocka, who did
Mhm.
all of the Eating Out movies. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but he is, oh my God, he's an icon. I say all the time that he was part of my queer awakening, and he does not like that. But it's because when I was growing up, the only queer media we had were his Eating Out movies and Queer as Folk,
Okay.
which and Skins, which was a British show that I had to like,
I forgot about skins.
I was obsessed with Skins. Maxie was like my one of my first crushes. Anyway, so back to Q Allan Brocka being my queer awakening. So I got to be part of the reboot, which was a dream come true because I had watched his work growing up. So I played Chase, who's a modern day pimp,
Okay.
I would say. So he's kind of he takes the lead under his wing and tries to show him the way hooking works in the modern age. Because in the original movie, he was a male escort and he
Mhm.
like put out ads on like newspapers and have like five clients maybe and like do that kind of work. But that doesn't work nowadays. So I take him under my wing and I'm like, everybody has an OnlyFans now. So it's like it's a comedy basically.
Okay.
The second show is called Open to It. The second season just aired, and we're starting pre-production on the third season. So we shoot this summer,
Yeah.
and that's a queer comedy about a gay couple who starts to experiment with the idea of opening up their relationship to a third person or a fourth person. So it kind of plays off the relationship dynamics of polyamory.
Okay.
And what I like about that one is that it's purely a comedy. There's no it doesn't end in tragedy. Like I mean, there's mishaps and mayhem happens, but usually when we see alternative relationship styles in the LGBTQ plus community portrayed in mainstream media, it always ends in like, see this never works, or
Yep.
see the kind of like grotesque, or see this is what they do. They're so seedy.
Yeah.
And how they paint those kinds of relationships which again is not
Not
based in
true.
any sort of reality. Like
Right.
there's so many different kinds of relationships that work for different people. And what I like about this show is that it shows that Sometimes it doesn't work, but it's not tragedy. It's very funny, like it doesn't work because someone freaks out or someone, like it's real while still elevating the comedic aspects of trying to honor everyone's boundaries and
Hmm.
make sure everyone feels included or what happens when someone doesn't feel included. But it does it in like a funny way. So I really like that.
That sounds nice.
It's like a different lens to these alternative relationship styles. And we have drag queens in the show. We have bisexual women. We have queer women. We have queer men. We have an episode about body positivity. One of our leads is deaf, so we talk
Okay.
about what it's like being queer in the deaf community. Also, so it touches on a lot of subcultures that don't normally have the airtime that they deserve.
Right. No, I really like that too because I feel like sometimes whenever you do watch a queer comedy, it's less on the comedy is not funny, it's the comedy is somehow making fun of the queerness. And so, like, this is refreshing. This is like, oh, it's just funny like a sitcom. And so these situations are kind of dumb because miscommunication is kind of dumb. But
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's basically all the comedy comes from miscommunication.
yeah,
So we never
such is real life.
really exactly. We never really talk about or someone's sexuality is never a plot point in
Right.
the show. They just are who they are. The comedy comes from the miscommunication, the timing
Mm,
of certain characters entering a scene or not, which is what I really like about the show.
I love that. That is so
And
refreshing.
we portray these people as like being also they're all successful in their fields in the show. Like my character's a philosophy major. One character has a wine bar. So they're all successful professionals. But in their own relationship lives, that's where they're kind of like dumb and trying to figure it out. So it's not like they're not stupid people.
Right.
They're just trying to figure out how their relationships work,
Yeah. No,
which
that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful, and it's honestly so refreshing because, like, we've been talking a lot about just, like, documenting and, like, showing the true reality, and, like, some people, like, obviously their story is more tragic, right? And some people, it's like, "I exist, and I've just always existed." Like, being queer has nothing to do with anything, you know? And some people, it's, like, become their whole identity because it had to, right, to survive. And
yeah,
so, like, we have so many differences, but I think the younger group, like, they and I'm sure that us whenever we were younger as well, but, like, I feel like they don't see the longevity of being queer. And so like one of the people that we interviewed recently, her name is Rena, and she wrote a book that was specifically old queer people because she's like, we need to show that like we have roots. Like, because if you don't have roots, it's a lot easier to destroy a community. And so like I think just like showing these younger people that, hey, look, you can be a successful engineer, you can be a successful like artist, you can be like a successful polyamorous couple, like or
yeah,
family or whatnot, whatever you want to be, you can do that. And
yeah.
and it can just be fun and enjoyable and it doesn't have to end in tragedy. That's I love that.
Exactly. Exactly. It's those stories exist and they're out there and they're so important for the youth to see
Mm,
because a lot of the time, especially when I was growing up, whenever I saw a queer story, the the movie or the TV show always ended in a medical disaster, or they were kicked out, disowned, and became homeless. End of movie. Roll
yeah.
credits. Like, well, what happened after that?
And then like most of the time that there were queer people in it, it was they were either furthering the plot of the main character or they were like a side character that you got like 2 seconds of information on and you were like, but
Yeah,
did we get any more information on? No, it's been 10 seasons and we know nothing now. Like,
exactly.
yeah,
They're like, oh, we needed diversity, so we're gonna make this character queer, and he has two scenes, and check. All right, pass the Bechdel test.
yes, exactly. Which, by the way, the Bechdel test sucks. It is literally the worst test. It's like,
Yeah,
we had a sentence without talking about a man. It's fine. Like,
yeah, we're
bruh,
perfect. Another point. Check.
checklist. Do you read at all?
I try not to. No, I'm kidding.
No.
I don't. I don't read books as often as I should because this is gonna sound like a lame excuse, but I feel like I'm constantly reading scripts now.
Oh yeah.
Like I read two before this podcast that were sent to me. And we're like, "Do you want to do this?" It's like, okay. So I've gotten more used to reading scripts rather than novels, but I used to read a lot in school. I used to
Okay.
read so much, and I kinda miss it, but long story short, no, I don't read as often as I should.
Okay, but that's okay because you're still considered a reader in my brain, especially if you're reading like scripts and stuff like that. So for our book club, we read this book. It's called Bury Your Gaze by Chuck Tingle. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he's hilarious. And it kind of like covers some of the things that we've just been talking about because it's like he is a writer and he's trying to write like normal queer people that have like a normal queer existence. And like basically they were like, well, you can have queer people and you can have them kiss, but then one of them has to die. And so like it does talk about like that trauma porn and it does talk about like the existence of like queerness being a commodity or whatever. And then like towards like the middle end, then they were like, oh my gosh, we can benefit from this queerness. Let's be rainbow capitalism. And then like
Yep.
they're like, yay, we love the gays, but like only this much. And so it kind of covers that too.
Well, I don't know if you know the original, kinda like story of how Heated Rivalry came about, but they shopped it around to like all the major streamers, Netflix, Hulu, and I believe Netflix was signed on to like had interest in producing it, but they told Jacob that they wanted to change it so that the characters didn't even kiss until episode 5 because it was just too much. It was too much.
Did he
So
read the book?
he did not, apparently the Netflix people did not, and Jacob said no. He was like, "I'm not changing the story, like, for them not to even kiss until episode 5? Are you kidding?" So, he made it himself with Crave Media in Canada, and then all of a sudden, HBO bought it because they were like, "Oh my god, this is really good,"
Yeah,
and it blew up. So, they
as
tried
it
to
deserves to.
censor the initial pass, and he stuck to his guns and was like, "No, that's not the
Yep.
story."
More
So
power to him. Jesus. Yeah.
yeah. So we're still seeing in 2026 major networks and studios are like, no, two gay people they can't kiss. We have to save it until at least episode 5 for a kiss so that people are like
Yeah.
really bought on the story and then they can, weather a kiss, a gay kiss.
It's so
It's so ridiculous.
ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Like, I don't understand, like and it's not even just media either. Like, I'm noticing it just in venues too. Like, there'll be venues who are like, "Yeah, we support the gays." But then, like, you're like, "Okay, well, can we have an event here?" And they're like, "Oh my god, yeah, we would love that." But as soon as they have one negative comment or, whatever, they're like, "We have to be quiet about it now." I'm like, What?
Yeah. Why? Why? There's always gonna be people that are gonna be upset by anything you're doing.
Anything."
So
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. I give more props to the people who don't care and are like, "Yeah,
Mhm.
whatever. We're gonna do it anyway. Hate on it if you want. Don't come
Yeah.
to the event."
Yeah, exactly. Or do. We need more tickets anyway, it's fine. You have to
Yeah,
buy a ticket to come in and yell at us, so
exactly. True allyship rather than just performative allyship.
exactly, exactly. And speaking of that, okay, so if you're comfortable, whenever you were younger, what was queerness like, especially in that, like, dual culture that you were experiencing? Or did you have any inkling of queerness back then? Like, what was that experience like for you?
It was I wouldn't say it was like it's not like it wasn't like the traditional coming out stories that we hear at all, which could be good or bad. I'm not sure. I faced more backlash at school than I did at home.
That makes sense, actually.
Yeah, so maybe it's part of that like dual culture where like at home it was one thing and at school it was another. But my parents didn't really care. That makes it sound like they didn't care about me. They did. They loved me. My mom calls me 5 times a day, which is way too much. Mom, please stop.
Don't
Please
listen, don't
stop.
listen. It's
Okay,
okay.
mom. Stop calling me so much. But they didn't really I mean, they came from a country where everything was taken away from them, you know? So when you have nothing like, they took away their homes, they took away their professions. My mom was kicked out of school when they found out she was leaving the country. Like, it was bad. Cuba's bad. So when you have nothing, the only thing that matters is family, and you hold on to that as much as you can. So something as minuscule as, like, coming out as gay doesn't matter as long as they're like, we're still in our lives, we're still healthy, we're still together. That takes precedence and that's more important. Plus, my mom's favorite uncle was gay. He unfortunately passed away of AIDS in 92, but that was like her favorite uncle. He was like a dancer at the Tropicana, which is the biggest venue in Cuba. I'm not sure if you've heard of it,
Mhm.
but he was an icon basically.
I
And
love
my mom
them.
wanted to be a dancer, so she was around gay people her whole life. So it wasn't really an issue at home. And I actually have a really funny story that I've told a few times about my
Yeah.
dad finding out because I was the first one with a laptop in my family. So I didn't know how to clear my search history back when I was 13. It's funny because I said this on another podcast and my dad watched it and he was like, I don't remember that. And I was like, well, I'm sorry for reminding you, but it did happen. You came in, you used my laptop, you asked me what this history was on my computer. And I was like, I don't know. It must have been a pop-up. And it's like,
We
that's
all
so
said the pop-up. We
yeah,
all did.
it was a pop-up. I don't know. And he was like, that's funny because when I try to type in cat, nothing pops up, or like, dog, nothing pops up. But when I start with a G, it like autofills as if it's been searched before. And I'm like, I don't know. It wasn't me. It
Oh
was
my
me.
God. Yeah, but we know.
It was me. So, they knew very early on and were very accepting. School was pretty dramatic.
Mhm.
That was pretty dramatic because I mean, we're kids and everyone loves to pick on each other. So I had actually had a huge crush on someone in my water polo team. And we were kind of like flirty or whatever. And I wrote him a note one day professing my love because he was out. He was
Mhm.
like out, out. And I wrote him a note thinking that it'd be private. And it was not. He
Yeah.
shared it around to everybody. He claims it fell out of his backpack and that's how people saw. I don't believe that. But I was essentially outed at like 15 in high school, and it did not go very well.
Jesus.
Yeah. But I found my real friends because the people that didn't care stuck around, and the people that did care were like, well, all right, fine. You don't need to be in my life. So the last 2 years of high school were much, much better because I was surrounded by people who did not care.
I love that. And that's so nice to hear. Like, being outed sucks, but it is nice that you had people around you that were supportive. And it does kind of make sense that it was kids. Like, I feel like there's so many things to like kids just being like bitchy to each other. And like, I think some of it comes from like them not realizing what's too much because they don't realize like, oh, if I say these things, like this person actually might be hurt. But then sometimes it's like that mob effect of like, well, they're making fun of that person. If I don't make fun of that person, then I'm going to be the odd one out. And that means I'm going to get made fun of. And like, so that's like, it's sucky, but it does make sense. But like, going back to what you were saying too about like, oh God, how did you say it? About the, if you don't have anything, then like family is the, yeah, that, like, that is so, like, that just like hit me for a second because I'm almost wondering if that's why America has so many problems because there's nothing to actually truly focus on. I mean, right now there is because we have too many things happening, but like until like 2016, there wasn't as much to focus on except for like a few random big things that we were still, like you said, we were going like this. We were starting to get here. And so like that's whenever people started focusing on like the things that don't really matter, right?
Yeah.
Again, probably. Like there was like a silent part where everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, we're getting the dreams, we're doing the things, we're helping our community." And then what?
That's an interesting idea actually, because yeah, we're America's stuck in this like rat race of like being the best, having the most, being on top, and it's all the other things that truly matter in life, like people and humanity and family, kind of seem to like fall to the wayside.
Yeah,
Everyone's so focused on,
money.
the biggest house, the biggest bank account, the newest car, the newest iPhone, and we forget to treat each other like human beings,
That is very true.
which I think is it's one thing that really sets apart American culture from Latin culture, I would say,
Mm,
because in Latin culture, family's number one, no matter what. And like, yes, we argue and we fight, and sometimes it gets physical and emotional, but at the end of the day, we still come together and we're like, all right, well, that was dumb.
all right, maybe I just needed to eat some food.
Yeah, that was dumb. You're still my cousin. You're still my brother. I still love
Yeah.
you, which was also a huge culture shock when I first moved to LA because I know some American people, for lack of a better word, who will like argue with a family member and then over something they don't even remember what it was about.
Mhm.
They haven't spoken to them in 10 years. I'm like, oh my God. My mom and I will get on the phone, and if we're upset, we'll call each other everything under the sun. And then in 2 hours, she'll call me and be like, did you have lunch? Are you doing okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. How are you?
Yeah. No, that's so true, and I think, like, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because like, there's subcultures in every culture, right? And
Mhm.
I think that you just, like, described, like, the difference for me from, like, middle school, high school, college to whenever I moved down here and, like, 'cause I'm from Ohio, I moved to North Carolina. So, like, when I moved down here and I was able to, like, truly get in the queer community and I met, like, my business partner and we started doing this, like, the relationships with those people is so much stronger, and I think it is because of that, because it's like, well, we've lost a lot of other things, or, like, we don't actually get to talk to our families because of XYZ or, like, loss and things like that, and so we are a stronger community, I think, than, like, the traditional American community, and so, like, I think that's where it's like, "Oh, yeah, I can call you a bitch," and, like, I can look at you and say, That was really out of line," but then, like, 5 minutes later after we've had our little spat, we're like, "Okay, let's fix it. Let's do the thing. Like, let's work together. I know you're stressed. Like, let's go." And so, like, that is a very good description though of like it's family first, but it's not just like blood family. It's chosen family, and then it's community, and then it's everything else we need to deal with, right? And like in that also comes rights. So like I have seen some allies who have like a really really good family structure that like they're like, "No, you are my family now because your family left you." And they
Yeah.
fight more heartily than half the queer people that I know because they know that this is their family and they wanna fight for us. So, like, that's yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm more concerned when people don't fight with the people they love
Yeah.
and are
Like,
more
what are you
passive.
hiding?
Yeah, because that means that it doesn't really, and I know this to some people could sound a little toxic and like, "Oh, that's not how a healthy relationship should work." But in my opinion, if something really matters to you, it is upsetting when, they do something that you don't agree with and you do wanna
Mhm,
fight for it and you do wanna fight to fix it and you, like that's where, like, the passion and the importance comes through.
mhm.
If, like, you're kinda nonchalant and you're like, "Whatever, I don't care." Like,
It
are
feels
they
checked out.
really? Yeah, it feels checked out.
Yeah,
It feels like they're not really that important. Like, if they were to, like, leave your side, then and you'd probably be okay with it, which is
yeah. That's not
concerning.
yeah, that's not really healthy. I feel like too, like, there's a lot of people, especially I'm gonna say especially in American culture because I don't really know any other cultures as much, but, like, I'm gonna say we've been taught to just hide every single emotion, and so whenever somebody is like that and they're just, like, okay with everything and, like, it doesn't matter what I say, they're still just gonna be, like, calm and, "Yeah, okay, we'll do that," or, like, "Yeah, I like it like this, but sure, that's fine." I'm waiting for them to explode. Like, I'm like, "This isn't healthy. You're hiding, like, these emotions down inside of you, this isn't gonna go well."
Yeah. Yeah, like, this may sound toxic, but I want you to fight with me.
Yeah. Yeah, like, don't punch me in the face, but, like, everything
Yeah,
until then, let's go. Like, let's
like,
have it
argue
out.
your point. I wanna
Yeah.
understand, like,
Yeah.
and if I don't understand and I argue back, then we'll duke it out until we reach common ground.
Yeah, because
But, like,
that's the
the
point.
whole, like, just like, "Okay, whatever, you're right," and walk away, I'm like,
But
"What?"
what if I wasn't right? We were supposed to have this conversation so that we could understand where we were, like
Yeah, like, let's sit down and let's talk about it, and if things get heated, they get heated. Maybe we need a break and we'll come back and talk about it again, but we need to reach a conclusion, not just like, "Okay, whatever," and walk away. Because then
yeah,
that shows me that you're not really interested in learning about me. You're not really interested in me learning about you, like, so then the relationship is surface level.
yeah. And how do we strengthen a relationship whenever we don't care about each other past this?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And if we don't strengthen this relationship, then what happens whenever something does happen that's super important? Or, whenever you need help with something, are you going to come to me? Probably not. And
Yeah,
then, and then you're going to feel like I wasn't there for you. Well, I didn't know you needed me because we didn't have those conversations.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of discourse.
Me too. I love talking. I'm a yapper.
Same. Same, and I go off on tangents all the time, and sometimes I need to be reeled back in, and I'm like, "What were we talking about? Oh, right. Okay."
That's just called conversation, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
healthy.
It's so healthy. No, I feel like the friends that I have from, like, college, if we call each other and even my brother, he lives in Chicago, if he calls me, I know that, like, I can't answer unless I wanna talk to him for 4 hours. Like, there's we're either talking for 5 minutes because he just needs, like, one thing from me, or we're talking for 4 hours.
Yep,
No in between. no in between.
Yep, same, same. I have one best friend who still lives in Miami, Florida, and anytime we talk, it's like a 3-hour phone
Oh, yeah.
conversation, and like, "Oh, where did the time go?" I'm like, "I gotta go, I'm late."
And that's just called quality time.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, we are nearing the hour mark. Is there anything that you would like to chat about that we haven't, or to go over and add more to things that we already have?
No, I feel like we talked about most of the things I wanted
Good.
to air out, you know, I guess the only last part would just be
Do you want to share your socials? Do you have a website, anything like that? And then maybe just share again where people can find all of your shows, anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I made all of my social media super easy to find, because there's so many now. Every other day there's a new social media app, and I'm like, this is impossible to track. So everything is just my name. It's just Jason, the letter S, and then Caceres. So Jason S. Caceres on like Instagram, X formerly known as Twitter. It will always be Twitter in my heart. TikTok, Facebook. I have Snapchat, but I don't really use it anymore. But it's the same Jason as Caceres. It's, you know, whatever. Blue Sky now.
There's so
Why?
many. There's so many.
Why do we need so many? Anyway, so it's the same everywhere, and then you can watch Boyculture, Open to It, seasons 1 and 2, and Laid Bare, which just came out on Out TV. It's like a queer murder mystery. It's really campy and fun and super short. It's 6 episodes, so you can watch it in like a day. And then I have 2 features out on Amazon Prime called A Love Like This and Cutaways, all very queer, all very positive representations of the queer community, except for Laid Bare, which makes us all seem like serial killers, but that's totally fine because who says that gay people can't be serial killers too? You know, we can succeed in
Honestly,
any field.
there should be more. It's fine.
There should be more. Jeffrey Dahmer was not enough.
Got it.
More gay serial killers. But no, that's it's a funny, campy twist on like an Agatha Christie kind of murder mystery. Meets the writer creator Tim O'Leary, who's a great friend of mine, says it's a crossover between Agatha Christie and Falcon Studios. If
Oh.
you know what that is.
Yeah. Okay. Love this.
But it's not porn, I promise. But it is set in a nudist resort. So, you know, get ready for that.
Okay. I love this. Actually, it's funny because Kobe told me that if I was a drag queen, my name would be Gagatha Christie.
Agatha Christie.
Yeah.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. Or no Gagatha Christie. Too far. Too far. I heard it.
No, it was perfect. It was perfect. I love this so much. And this has been such a fun conversation. And like, okay, I can tell that like we're closer to the same age. So like I feel like we have a lot of the same like humor, which has been fun. It's been a fun
Yeah.
conversation.
The dark millennial, the world is ending kind of humor. And I take
Yeah.
nothing.
Nothing's really important because we're all gonna die anyway. It's just when.
We have lived through more tragedies and like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Once in a lifetime events.
Yeah. Yeah. Like unprecedented events. Then
Jesus Christ.
there was a meme where I was like, you know what? I think I'm ready for some precedented events.
Yes. I would like I'm gonna make that into a shirt. Tattoo it on my forehead. Something to
Yeah.
manifest it, you know?
Please. I'm ready for precedented events. I'm tired of this whole like, this has never happened before. What a tragedy. I don't know. I'm
I'm tired
tired.
of tragedy.
Yeah. But it's given us such a great sense of humor.
Honestly, it has. It has. It really has. And sometimes I'll look at my fiance because he's like 5 or 6, he's some years older than me. And sometimes I'll look at him and he'll just be like saying something dumb. And I'm just looking at him like, man, you are a very millennial man. And I understand that you don't want to live right now, but like, let's be happy again. We can do it.
Yep. Yeah. The amount of times I make like, you know, unaliving jokes, which I know is a very serious topic and we shouldn't joke about it, but I had a therapist once who was like, I can't tell if you're joking anymore or if you're like, I'm like, no, no, no. The more I joke about it, the less it'll happen. I promise.
Literally,
Yeah.
literally. Honestly, sometimes and I'm so bad at picking up whenever people are, like, very, like, they have, like, this type of humor, if they say it in this voice, I'm like, "I don't know if you're serious or not about, like, half the things that you're saying," but I know damn well that whenever my fiancé says an unaliving joke, I'm like, "Okay, that one's a joke. Okay, the rest of the sentence is probably a joke too. Got it."
I love that that's like your measurement of like
Yeah.
if everything else is a joke or not.
Yep. That's it, that's it.
I love it.
Well, I love this conversation so much, and I really hope that we can stay in contact some way, and if you ever want to chat again, or if you know people who want to chat, we'd love to. And honestly, send us some of your Instagram posts, and we'll repost them. That'd be fun.
Okay, yeah, like just a bunch of like stuff I've already posted, or
Yeah, stuff that you want us to share, like anything that you're like, hey, this one could use an extra boost or whatever in a different area. We'd love to share it. And I'm excited to, well, I'm going to see how much Out TV costs because I kind of want to subscribe to it now.
for a month, so you can always cancel after the first month.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
And endless amount of email addresses, so you could free trial for
Okay,
I you for saying this.
that's how you know that you're a millennial because I have at least like 20 email addresses and people are like,
Yep,
why? I'm like, because I
I have
had to
7
sign up and get the free as many
I
times as
have
I could.
7 email addresses for that point, exactly.
All right. Well, this was lovely. I really do hope that we stay in contact. Message us whenever you want to. Seriously, have a great weekend and stay in touch.
Thank you, you too, I had a fantastic time, thanks for talking to me.
Good. Good. I'm glad. All right. Well, have a really good weekend.
Bye, have a great day.
Bye.
See ya.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Queer Vision podcast. Once again, I am Becca, and I sat down today with Jason. You should definitely go look at his TV shows. You should go check out anything that he's worked on because he's hilarious and I love him. Anyway, go support him any way that you can. And then if you'd like to find out more information about us, you can go to queerolina.org. It's queerolina.org. And yeah, reach out for anything if you would like to do an interview. We want to interview everyone who has an experience on queer culture. That anyone, whoever you are, you have a story. So we want to hear it. Thank you. And also, if you are a writer or have a business or anything like that, and you would like to submit anything to the magazine, the Queer Version magazine comes out once a month. So send stuff in. All that information is on our website. And maybe you should go watch some Queer Lana TV because maybe you need a story or want to hear a magazine. Anyway, okay. Well, I love you. Have a really good day and go support Jason.